Right? Okay. Okay, what do I do now? Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you. How do we go about it? I can't hear you back, right? Is that correct? So I will have to speak for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we'll wait for question answer. Right. Is there any way I can have a voice feedback? No. So I'll have to read out the questions on my screen and answer, right? Hello. Should we start?
Yes, sir.
All right, friends, we will start. It is 2 minutes past 4 p.m. and our topic of discussion today is, of course, coronavirus disease is there with COVID-19. That is COVID-19 and association of smoking or tobacco use. We all know, you all know that coronavirus disease is called COVID, and since it was discovered first time in 2019 December, this is called COVID-19. This is a new type of coronavirus. We have known 6 types of coronaviruses out of hundreds of coronavirus which are there in the corona family. 6 types of virus have been known to be transmitted amongst humans, and this virus is 7th, a new one, and that is why it is called novel coronavirus, and the disease caused is called COVID-19. And COVID-19, we all know, has caused global disruption of daily lives, of economy of our world as we know it on unprecedented scale. This is historic. No natural calamity or man-made calamity has caused this kind of chaos or disruption in modern world. We are going to talk about smoking and COVID-19 relationship. To understand that, let's understand what does smoking or tobacco use do to our lungs and heart and human body as such. We know very well that smoking and tobacco use causes cancer. This has been very well advertised, very well taught, and is there in public domain of knowledge that smoking and tobacco use causes cancer. Smoking causes lung cancer, and tobacco use causes cancer of mouth and tongue and lips and buccal mucosa. Smoking causes heart disease, smoking causes lung disease, and these are little less well-known facts. Smoking causes lung disease by causing inflammation of the respiratory passages, by decreasing the lung capacity, by increasing the reactivity of our respiratory passages. It also causes heart disease by increasing the reactivity of small vessels which supply blood to the heart. It increases the vasospasm. The blood vessels contract and reduce the blood flow to the heart when we are smoking, and these effects kind of persist afterwards also. Smoking also increases blood clotting in those small vessels, and this can lead to increased incidence of heart attacks. Smoking also causes heartbeats to become faster and irregular, and this can cause arrhythmia, and it has some association with sudden cardiac death also. So smoking affects human body in multiple ways. It causes respiratory diseases, it causes cardiovascular diseases, it causes cancers, and it decreases or suppresses immune system or our immunity. And that is why it is expected that people who smoke will have worse outcome with viral disease like COVID-19. We also know that in past, respiratory illnesses like influenza, like MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or like SARS, they have all been more frequent in patients people who smoke, people who use tobacco. So the incidence of these illnesses have been more, and these illnesses have taken more severe form in those patients who smoke or those patients who used tobacco. And coronavirus, novel coronavirus or COVID-19 is a respiratory disease essentially. The virus enters our body from mucosa of mouth, nasal mucosa or respiratory mucosa predominantly, or sometimes conjunctival mucosa. And since it is essentially a respiratory pathogen, it is expected that when COVID occurs or coronavirus disease occurs, COVID-19 would be more frequent in those people who smoke, those people who use tobacco, and it will be causing more severe disease in these people. Moreover, ACE2 gene expression, angiotensin convertase enzyme 2 gene expression in lung tissue is higher with smokers. And we know that novel coronavirus binds to this ACE2, and that's why we can theoretically postulate that smokers will have higher susceptibility to coronavirus infection. Okay, this is the background. But what happens actually? There are many studies. More than 80 studies have been published so far on the net, and more are getting published as we speak. Out of these, 5-6 studies are of importance. The rest of them are too small or with too many variables, and they are too observational. Almost all the studies have suggested that the incidence of smoking or tobacco use is higher amongst those patients who have more severe COVID-19. In short, smokers are more likely to get more severe COVID than non-smokers. There is also suggestion that the smokers may get it more frequently, but that is somehow not very clear. In these studies, it has also been found that there are more chances of severe infection, more chances of respiratory complications in smokers, more chances of ICU admission among smokers and tobacco users. Tobacco users and smokers are more likely to be ventilated, more likely to need ventilators, and there is higher mortality amongst tobacco user and smokers with COVID-19. So we know that any kind of tobacco smoking or tobacco use is harmful to bodily systems, including cardiovascular and respiratory systems, and COVID-19 also harms these systems, so it is not a surprise. Recently, I would like to talk to you about one recent French study which has been there in the news in last week. And this French study, coming from a hospital in France, showed that out of 480 odd cases of COVID-19, smokers' proportion was less than the general population. So, like in France, about 25% of the population smokes. But amongst COVID-19 patients who had confirmed COVID-19, who were coronavirus positive, only 10-12% were smokers. Based on this study suggested that somehow smokers were protected from getting coronavirus infection. This was a very provocative conclusion, and this made headlines almost all over the newspapers, that smoking or nicotine somehow protects against COVID-19 and coronavirus infection. But this study was flawed in many ways. One important flaw was that the hospital where the COVID patients were admitted, this hospital had predominantly health workers amongst COVID patients. And as we know, the health workers, the doctors, the nurses, are less likely to be smokers than the general population. So that big part was not taken into account, and the smokers' incidence or prevalence was compared to the general population rather than amongst health workers. So this was a big flaw. This was a very limited sample of coronavirus disease patients. There were other flaws, statistical and otherwise, but we will not go into details of this. And this one study which made headlines, has been criticized soundly by almost all the experts. And the French government, in fact, saw that because of this study and because of the headlines, people started buying nicotine to fight against coronavirus infection. And French government banned and prohibited and restricted the sale of nicotine in the whole of country. WHO has also taken note of it and also brought out kind of white paper on smoking, saying that there is no way that smoking protects against coronavirus disease. On the contrary, smoking and tobacco use definitely increases the severity of coronavirus infection, increases the severity of COVID-19. There are higher chances of mortality or dying if you get COVID-19 if you are a smoker or tobacco user, and that's why if you want to quit smoking or if you want to quit tobacco, this is probably the best time to do it. And we also know that quitting tobacco brings down the risk of mortality, cardiovascular or all-cause mortality, significantly down. We still don't have evidence that if you quit tobacco or quit smoking, the coronavirus death rate also will come down, but that data is not there, but it is kind of expected and it's logical. There are some articles or some experts who have suggested, so-called experts who have suggested that switching from cigarettes or tobacco to e-cigarettes might help, but we know that it doesn't. E-cigarettes are no safer than the actual cigarettes, and in fact in India vaping and e-cigarettes have been already banned, so there is no question of switching from smoking to e-cigarettes. There is one more aspect to it and that is smoking or tobacco use. The mere act of it involves hand to mouth movement, whether you are smoking or whether you are eating tobacco or you are sniffing, and the very act of bringing your hand to your mouth increases the chances of contamination, increases the chances of infection. So that aspect also is important according to WHO. So I think right now we have significant evidence that links smoking and tobacco use to poorer outcomes with COVID-19. So it's better that we advise all our tobacco users, all our smoker friends to quit tobacco use and smoking as fast as possible, make their immunity system stronger to be able to fight better against COVID-19. Thank you. I'd be very happy if you have any questions. Well, I have a question from Mr. Sakshit Kulkarni. In your opinion, will social distancing or lockdown shall eradicate corona spread completely? No. Social distancing or lockdown will never eradicate coronavirus. It will slow down the spread. Remember that lockdown is not effected to get rid of the virus. It cannot kill the virus. The lockdown will reduce the speed of coronavirus spread, and we know that this novel coronavirus is a pathogen which spreads very fast. One person can infect 4 easily, which is not the case with most of the other infections. No infection in history has been known to spread so fast. So this will reduce the speed of virus spread, and once you reduce the speed of virus spread, number of cases at a given time will be less. So the curve which goes up, curve of positive cases or infected cases which goes up steeply, sharply, exponentially, that curve will become gradual and will flatten out. Flattening of the curve has several important effects. One of the major effect will be that the community spread will be less faster, less quicker. Overall number of cases will not happen very fast. We will have time to treat these patients, support these patients. Hospital beds will not be overwhelmed. Our health system will not be overwhelmed. We will have time to prepare for this virus. We will have more time to invent new drugs. We will have more time to invent a vaccine. And all in all, the mortality will reduce. The number of cases will be spread over a time, and we will be able to tackle the pandemic better. So in any pandemic, flattening the curve is very important. So social distancing or lockdown will not eradicate it, but it will slow down it, and by slowing it down, we will reduce the mortality. Can COVID-19 increase the risk of heart disease? Yes, it can increase the risk of heart disease. Those people who have heart disease, they have more chances of complication if they get COVID-19. And those people who do not have any heart disease, they also can get heart attacks because of COVID-19. Because the COVID-19 can cause microvascular thrombosis. It can create blood clots in the small tiny arteries which supply blood to the heart. Can this virus spread with the just single touch with affected patient? Rarely. Generally, if you spend less than 15 minutes in close contact with somebody, very less likely that you will get affected. But yes, single touch also with somebody who is shedding virus in large amount, you can get infected. Especially if that single touch also marks your hand to mouth touch or face touch, etc. Or if you are very near, very close proximity. What precautions should a smoker can follow in this period if he is not able to stop smoking? Okay, so if a smoker cannot stop smoking, he should practice the social distancing more strictly. He should be wearing mask, and he should insist that the opposite person also wears mask. He should wash his hands, sanitize his hands more frequently. He should be maintaining proper distance of more than 2 meters with people whom he interacts. So these are, he has to take all the precautions more strictly, and he has to boost up his immunity in other ways, like eating green vegetables, fruits, dry fruits, or walnuts, etc. Try our routine Ayurvedic preparations like turmeric and garlic and tulsi and all those things which are known to increase immunity. So eat healthy, eat proper amount of proteins, do proper exercise, take enough sleep, etc. The development of drug by Israel their minister has announced it, that they have found an antibodies against the coronavirus, but this needs to be proven. There are no human trials as of now. So if they do human trials, we will know. Any special diet recommendation in this COVID-19 situation for everyone? No, there are healthy diet. Make sure that you take enough protein. That is very important for your immunity. Cut down on your carbohydrates and fat. Make sure that you eat green vegetables and fruits, especially if you are able to get it. Eat more of nuts, that is walnuts, almonds, etc. Make use of routine Indian herbal preparations like turmeric, garlic, tulsi, ginger. These are all known to confer more immunity. How long does virus survive on a surface? It varies. It varies wildly. The virus is known to survive on surfaces from 3 hours to 3 days. Especially on metal surfaces like door handles and tabletops, it is known to survive for very long time, that is up to 3 days. So be careful about touching these surfaces. How many days it will take to normal lifestyle? It's very difficult to answer that, and you have asked me according to my experience. Nobody has any experience of this kind of pandemic, but the guess from most of the experts is that it will be somewhere between 6 to 18 months before we get back to any kind of normalcy. And there are many experts who warn that we will never become normal again. It is like 9/11. After 9/11, the air travel was never the same. Same thing is going to be there in a larger way after this pandemic. Newborns or infants also on high risk of having COVID. Any age is not immune, but we know that neonates, infants, anybody age less than 16 is much less likely to get COVID. So I think out of total COVID, only less than 5%, 2 to 5% are having age less than 18. So children are much less likely to get affected, but it doesn't mean that they cannot be affected. We know that pregnant women have been infected with COVID, but their newborns were free from COVID. So it's not directly transmitted, that is sure. Wearing a face mask can prevent from coronavirus? Yes and no. Wearing a face mask can decrease your chances of getting coronavirus from somebody's sneeze or cough or exhalation. But mind you, your wearing a face mask is important, but equally or more important is the opposite person wearing a face mask. So if the opposite person has coronavirus disease and he's wearing a face mask, then he's much less likely to infect you, even if he sneezes or even if he coughs. So make sure that you wear a mask and the opposite person also is wearing a mask so that you don't get corona. During this corona period, if we have heart attack, what will be the ideal choice of treatment, medical management or surgical treatment? It all depends on what kind of heart attack you get. So by and large, uncomplicated heart attacks are best treated either medically or with primary angioplasty, but most of the cardiologists, because of the risk to the staff and to the society and because of the coronavirus related complications, in suspected COVID cases, they would rather treat the patient medically, and if the medical treatment fails, then only they will take on the surgical treatment option. How plasma therapy is useful in treating COVID patients? Well, plasma therapy is supposedly useful because those patients who have recovered from COVID disease, they probably have formed some form of antibodies against coronavirus, and if we give that plasma to the patients who are suffering from COVID, then those antibodies could help boost the immunity of the COVID patients and help them in getting recovery faster. Tea, coffee, this plasma therapy is under investigation. It is by no means a proven therapy. Tea, coffee, green tea, ginger tea, tulsi tea, yes, agreed. Green tea, ginger tea and tulsi tea are supposedly they boost up your immunity. Tea and coffee less so, but perhaps we don't know exactly. But yes, these can be consumed in moderation. Exercise and COVID is very important. After food, the next thing which boosts up your immunity is exercise. So exercise, people who exercise are less likely to get any form of infective illnesses or even long-term diseases. Any antibiotic effective in so far none. No antibiotic is effective. Some antiviral drugs like remdesivir have been proven, have been shown to decrease the duration of the infection, and they are being tested. And remdesivir is now approved for use in moderate to severe cases. Can somebody tested positive for COVID-1, Mr. Vipul Patel, can one stay at home in isolation or hospital admission is must? No, hospital admission is must only for those people who have symptoms, significant symptoms like breathlessness or who cannot be managed at home. People who have just dry cough or mild fever or people who can be managed at home can stay home in isolation. There is no need for them to be hospitalized. So in fact, we should encourage mild infections to stay at home so that our hospital beds do not get filled up by those people who are having mild infection, and somebody who has got serious COVID doesn't get hospital bed. Sinus patients related to COVID, I do not understand, but basically anybody who has chronic sinusitis or any chronic respiratory illness has increased chances of COVID infection. Any medicine to increase immunity? So far, none. Many vitamins have been proposed, like vitamin C we give to everybody in high doses, vitamin D we are giving, but all these vitamin tablets are not proven to increase immunity. In fact, natural food is the best way to increase immunity. You can take vitamins, especially if you are vitamin deficient. You can take these vitamin tablets. Vaccine would be one. If it comes, it will increase your immunity. What is the general lifespan or effectiveness of masks like N95? N95 or any mask should not be worn for more than 12 hours at a time. In fact, we used to say that 6 to 8 hours is maximum, but you can wear up to 12 hours. After that, you should change your mask. And N95 masks can be washed with a detergent or cleaned with a sanitizer, or can be left to be dried and can be reused after 4 to 5 days. In fact, after 3 days they say, but to be on the safer side, you can use it on 4th or 5th day. Can COVID-19 be passed through breastfeeding? So far there is no such evidence, so not known, but it's safe. Is there any chance of repeat infection in same patient? Yes, there have been some reports where the same patient who got cured was found to be reinfected, but many people doubt this. They believe that maybe somehow the coronavirus was not detectable, but it was there in the body, and then there was a recrudescence and they found it again after testing the patient, after testing him after some time. So we are not very clear, but one thing is sure, that repeat infection in animals causes much milder disease. So some form of immunity is there. Repeat infections immediately within short span of time probably is not going to happen, but the immunity may not be lasting for more than 6-8 months, maybe more than a year. It remains to be seen. More asymptomatic COVID cases also started emerging. Yes, in fact 80% of the COVID cases are asymptomatic. Only 20% of them will seek medical attention because of the symptoms. So unless you test everybody, many times you will not know the true magnitude of the disease. Can I catch COVID-19 from my pet? No, it is very unlikely. Very unlikely. First of all, pet animals like dogs and cat, they do not catch COVID very easily. Dogs are considered almost immune from catching COVID, but they do. The cats, there are some reports of cats catching COVID, but somehow the virus stops multiplying in their system, and that's why they do not transmit the disease further. So don't worry about handling your pet as far as COVID is concerned. Let me see, I must have missed some of the questions. ARB has any role to control coronavirus? No. So far, ACE inhibitors and ARBs have had very controversial discussions as far as COVID is concerned. Some studies suggested that ACE inhibitors and ARBs, those patients who were taking these medicines had poorer outcomes. Some studies have suggested that we should give ACE inhibitors because it will bring down the expression of gene expression of ACE2 in the lung tissues, and then the infection will be less severe. But so far we have evidence for none. In fact, only 2 days back a large study from New York, from US, was published in American Journal of Medicine, and they showed that there was no relation between ACE inhibitors and ARB use and the COVID infection rate or the COVID severity. So we don't stop anybody taking from ACE inhibitor or ARB if he's already on, but we don't ask somebody to start ACE inhibitor or ARB also. What is the connection between COVID-19 and animals? COVID-19 seems to have come from bats, and it is from bats it has jumped into the humans. Bats, especially the horseshoe bats, are very large reservoir of coronaviruses, and there are hundreds of coronaviruses in bats which are living in the bats. They are not transmitted to humans because they lack certain proteins which can latch on to human cells. So that's why they are not able to infect humans. But as the proximity of bats and humans increase, the environment, as we take up more and more space, because of deforestation and all, these animals, wild animals, their habitat decreases or reduces, and that's why bats and other wild animals come into more contacts with humans. Plus there are certain practices where wild animals are eaten as delicacy, as food by certain sections of people. So that is how these viruses can come from wild animals into humans, and this virus has probably jumped from bats to humans either directly or through another intermediary host, and it is believed that this intermediary host is an animal called pangolin. Pangolin are a small anteater mammals, and these mammals are considered a delicacy in southern China market, in southern China population. And from bats the virus came into pangolin, and the pangolins gave it to humans, and this virus has modified itself so that it can transmit from human to human. We'll know more about the origin of this coronavirus as the research continues on this. Well, what else? What precautions should one take if patient is already a cardiac patient? As I said, like smokers, all cardiac patients should take extra precautions. They have to take extra care about social distancing, about mask, about washing their hands and maintaining sanitation and hygiene. Plus they have to make sure that they take their medicines regularly. They have to stock up their medicines so that they don't miss out in case there is any shortage or any medicine which goes missing. And they have to check their blood pressure, sugar, weight constantly, as if COVID or no COVID, whatever investigations are due should be done. Whatever consultations are to be obtained, you talk to your doctors if there are any symptoms. And remember that stay safe, stay home, stay safe slogan does not apply to heart attack. So when you suspect heart attack, when you suspect heart problem, don't stay at home. Go to the hospital, contact your doctor and get the treatment immediately. Well, will warm weather kill COVID virus? So far we have no such evidence. In fact, we know that in all the warm countries also coronavirus has spread pretty effectively. What is the relativity in COVID testing positives with specific blood group? We have not been able to find any such specific relationship, though there were some initial studies which suggested that there is, with some blood group the COVID positivity is more, but so far no such evidence has accumulated. There was an experiment wherein radiation or UV light can kill coronavirus. Radiation does not, but UV light can kill coronavirus, and the problem is that UV light also causes lot of harm to human body. So that's why ultraviolet rays can be used to disinfect equipment, to disinfect the tabletop or chairs or some surfaces, but UV light, especially UVC, ultraviolet C, cannot be used to disinfect our body, or cannot be used to treat us, because it will harm our body and our skin also. There is some special form of ultraviolet light which is being developed and which doesn't harm the human body, doesn't harm the human skin. If this is true, if this turns out to be true, this will be a game changer, because then you can just pass a body through ultraviolet UVC and kill all the viruses on the surface. That will be a great thing, but we need a lot of research on this. Okay, do you think now it is peak of COVID in country, or it is yet to come? Most of the experts believe that peak of COVID in our country is going to come around 15th or 20th of May. What is the role of statin therapy in COVID-19? Mayo Clinic and several other expert groups have suggested that since heart attacks are more common in COVID-19 patients and microvascular thrombosis also, maybe prophylactic statin should be given to all those COVID-19 patients. We do not know whether this is of real benefit or not. What about diabetic patients? Are they more prone to COVID? Yes, diabetic patients are a little more prone to COVID, and again little more prone to complications. The routine mortality or death rate in diabetic patients is roughly 2 to 3 times higher than other normal individuals. So diabetic patients also should take great care in these COVID times, keep their sugar under control, keep their immunity boosted. How many types of novel COVID-19 and its different type in severity? See, the virus is of one type, that is novel coronavirus. There are strains or clades. These viruses, as they pass from one human to another or one cell to another, they replicate their protein in the cells, and while replicating this protein, a small error may happen, and this error is called mutation. And these viruses can mutate, and this very, very slight difference between two proteins, and that's why these are called different strains of virus or different clades of virus. And so far many strains have been identified, but most of the experts do not agree on these. And right now we talk about L and S type of strain, but there are 5-6 more types of strains also been identified. Now, whether these different strains are more infective or more deadly to humans compared to the other strains, we do not know. In fact, again, most of the experts feel that these strains or these clades have very minute differences, and probably they are not showing any difference in their behavior. But having said that, L strain is seen to be more prevalent, and that's why many people believe that L strain is more virulent or more aggressive because it's found in more people. Vaccine has not been successful for virus-borne diseases like HIV in many researches. So how quick can this research of vaccine for coronavirus treatment be successful? Yes, antiviral vaccines are not only less successful, but we also know that for diseases like influenza, we have to take vaccine every year because the virus mutates and the vaccine becomes previously effective vaccine becomes ineffective. So we do not know that even if the vaccine against COVID-19 is developed, we do not know how effective it will be or how long its effectivity will last, how frequently we will have to take that vaccine. We do not know the immunity is lifetime or short term. We do not know many things. Mortality rate of coronavirus versus influenza. There were initial studies which suggested that coronavirus is only as fatal as influenza, and that is like 0.2, 0.3%. But we are not sure. Many people believe that those studies were statistically flawed, those initial studies, and the fatality rate of coronavirus is much more than influenza. How much more? That's again a matter of debate. Some people say up to 2 to 3% mortality. Some studies have shown around 1%. So the mortality rate could be anywhere between 0.3 to 3. You can say that. And if it is 0.3, it is closer to influenza. If it is 3, it is much more than influenza. Is COVID-19 same as SARS? No. COVID-19 is not same as SARS. SARS was caused by a different coronavirus, and this is caused by a different coronavirus, and that is why this virus is called SARS-CoV-2. Mortality rate of coronavirus for hypertensive and diabetic patients. Mortality rate of COVID-19 in hypertensive and diabetic patients is roughly somewhere between 6 to 7% or 6 to 8%, which is 2 to 3 times higher than the normal individual. All right, I think with this we come to an end of this session. Hopefully we'll meet again.